Thank you, Dr. Prashant, for having me in this, I think, a very different kind of a session here. Thank you, Dr. Lal. And I think taking the podium after a dynamic speaker like Dr. Namrita itself is very challenging. But, pardon me if I would like to say, research is not jugaad. Research is hardcore scientific evidence, and you have to present whatever scientific evidence you have gathered in your work to the scientific audience here. So I think the first thing we need to do is change the way we think about research. It's not boring, but it is some fact which is based on which you're going to make your clinical decisions. If you are going to adopt a particular new procedure for somebody in your family, your kith or kin, you would go back to the literature and see what are the results of this particular procedure. Should I do this one or should I go to the conventional one? So that is where what is published in literature needs to be credible, and we ourselves know when we read particular papers of particular authors, we give them so much importance that we would blindly follow what they have advocated. But we would not do the same for some X, Y, Z, because we probably have a little doubt in the credibility of data they are publishing. So that's how we are going to represent our own. It's not just the country. It's like starting from home. It starts from the place you work, from the institute you represent, and by and large, you're representing yourself and your credibility when you're publishing your research to the world to see it and judge it on how credible it's going to be there. So I think we should take immense pride that we stand there in any particular podium, be it national or international, and are representing faces of the country, representing faces of the quality of research which is being done in India, and see we are no less than anybody else who is in probably any of the developed nations, and we have the numbers. So I think we are more powerful than any of them are. And it's just the way we are going to represent and present ourselves which is going to make a huge impact and which is going to influence the way we can represent our country in the particular field of research we are doing in. So never underestimate yourself. That's something which I would always say. But then also do not overestimate yourself. Know your true value. Know your lacunae. Know the potentials of your particular work or your particular ability, and know where you would want or where you can work towards enhancing yourself. So those are going to be really important factors in how you're going to contribute, of how you use yourself and your work to represent the nation, to represent the place you're working in, and to represent your own personality and your own credibility. So that's how I would look at it. And this is a very simple dictum which I always follow. Whatever is worth doing is worth doing well. However small, however big, however intermediate. Please remember, it's something as simple which I would follow for a very simple analog. If you're folding your handkerchief, the way you fold it is going to tell about what is the kind of person you're really going to be. It applies to every small little thing you do. So whatever you do it so perfectly here, and that's how you can build from one on top of the other and really take it to another level to represent something. If you walk into a particular mall, you're going to walk into a place in which things are more attractive, more well laid out, which is more which has a better decor. So research it that way. If you have to package your work to the audience, it has to be packaged well enough, and you will have to learn how to do it. So when a research is well done, the packaging is not difficult at all. It's much easier to do. So that's one way of looking. Simple points, I think, just to wrap up. Just to look at what could be the key features here when you're planning. Research does not come retrospectively. Retrospective research is there, but has its own pros and cons here, where you could probably not akin it to a randomized control trial or to a prospective research here. So your planning of your research needs to be robust here. So that's point one here. Point two is you have to raise your level of research so that you can present your research in international podiums here. So there, your presence in international presentations is what's going to make you noticeable here. And that's going to give you an opportunity to represent your country in a big ocean here. And that's the beginning. So there's no self-hesitation. Do good work. and be bold enough to go and stand there on the podium and tell the world that your work is as good as anybody else has done it. So that's point 2 here. Point 3 is increasing the visibility by the credibility of the work you're doing. So if you're going to say, for example, if I'm going to just say I've done 1,000 flags and I'm presenting to you data on 1,000 flags, that's something the world is doing. But what you're presenting out of the 1,000 flags, what is the data which is going to be credible and add on new information to your audience and to your scientific community is what's going to raise the levels of credibility of your work here. Again, when you're working, inculcate within yourself and your colleagues the habit of doing good research and following publication ethics. There are, and I think first you have to become knowledgeable of what we mean by publication ethics, what are the common publication misconducts, what does a good research procedure mean, and that's when you would start working from there, and that helps you to produce research which could be of international quality and which you're not scared of presenting in front of any podium or in front of any audience, be it national or international here. For those who are not very strong in doing clinical research or basic researches or translational research, then you can work on your surgical presentations here. There are multiple podiums where you could present your surgical expertise here. There are forums which have film festivals where you have videos, and you could probably represent your work there, and that will really also give you good visibility to the quality of surgical work which is being done in India here. Again, seek and also train yourself in optimal research guidance here. So in order to be able to guide my thesis students or my fellows here, it is imperative for the teacher himself or herself to be well trained enough so that you're able to create the next gen who are probably going to be as good or better than you. So that's what is very important, and I as a teacher always take pride in the fact that if my student is doing better than me, then I score Oscar in what I have undertaken to do. So that's important, that you learn good optimal research guidance, you inculcate that, and you make your juniors who will become better teachers in wherever places or colleges or institutes they're going to be joining, and will be taking care of the next generation of research work in India here. Again, quality publications. It's not important about the number of publications you have, but the quality of your publications, the cite factors of your publications, and the strength of your publication, what the scientific data it gives out to the world here. Avoid publication misconducts, which is already related to what I showed you here. And you can also, depending on your work and the visibility and the quality of reviews you do, you would be invited to be reviewers across several journals in the country. That's one way you're probably representing the country by reviewing research work done by others as well. And that's a very important way of how you could probably further your nation and serve your nation as becoming in the field of research and contribute to research of India here. Thank you so much for your patient hearing, and thank you again for the opportunity to be here.